Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to the shit show. This is your host, Thunder Drummer, about to have another improv story time. When I mean improv, I mean everything goes from up here down to the mic, down to the video. I try not to pause or do much of that try not to edit the video too much. Eventually, I do want to plan on doing more with this, but right now, I just want to make some stories. So, this story is a new story called The Mage and the WereWolf. It was an idea I had in the middle of the night one night. I did a TikTok saying, hey, would this be interesting? I had a little bit of a good response. But, yeah. Well, I'm going to be explaining the characters a little bit before we go on with the story itself. Well, our werewolf is named James Lee. He's he used to be a lichen prince, which he's still a lichen, but we'll figure out why he goes more by just acts more like a regular werewolf at the he basically stepped down and pretty much faked his death. The words was up there, it just won't come out. Faked his death, so get out of the accession line. All these people had, it's like he just got tired of it and he faked his death and left. And from that day, he never fully let his regular lichen out unless he knew 1000% he could. He at this point is over 200 or 300 years old. So, and he's been hiding out. Not really hiding out. He ended up becoming an alpha of the Moon Hunter pack. They were pretty much a corrupt pack when he came in. He stayed there for a little while, and then he gradually started making things better, which he had to take out the alpha, and he went from taking a deadbeat borderline criminal pack to one of the strongest actual decent packs around. Well, and all this time he's never found his true mate at all, like not even a hint at it, and it's been like 300 plus years. He has fought in many battles, even met up with the royals, but the royals never paid him much mind because it's still, I mean, why would they? He's a leader of a pack that's actually opposed him at things that needed to be opposed, and then actually put a foot down with things that needed to happen and supported when they needed the support when it was justifiable within if it was good or bad. This pack is now his family. The royals don't, and without him actually turning into a lichen anywhere near him, he's not gonna deal with much. Well, anyway, now comes Marina. he goes by Mars most of the time. Marina is a Earthling. Yes, this is not on Earth, by the way. Marina is an Earthling that pretty much escaped Earth when a big battle against some necromancers happened. Um, she was an apprentice back then, but that's been like 30,000 years ago. Um, she actually knows Sarzak personally, even though she hasn't seen him since the battle um on his homeworld. And she pretty much got kicked over here just to got kicked through a portal when the last battle happened and landed on this planet. She gained so much more power here because she was able to focus a lot more here. The mana layers were way more, but there was also a bunch of different species, and eventually she started working for the government. Dun, dun, dun. Um, there is a world government here, or should I say, council, to try to prevent a bunch of just they only enact when shit goes wrong. The werewolf clans do their thing. The vampires do their thing. The demi-humans do their thing. Um, the humans, pretty much don't really do much of anything out of their own kingdom, so nobody really worries about them. They're just glad to be around. And so on and so forth. There's everything from werewolves, vampires, um, mer people, mermaids, um, fully sentient monsters. You have the demi-humans that has everything from fish people to kobolds to um, just beast men that have took traits from actual beasts from some bad experiments that happened. They have high elves, which are mainly just pains in the asses half the time. They have several different other kinds of elf between dark elf, blood elves, which pretty much stay to themselves. They, believe it or not, they actually help the humans quite a bit for exchange for um, blood in an equal exchange. So they're not taking advantage of people. And this, she pretty much started working for this organization mainly to get stronger. Well, she became way too strong. Way, way too strong. But like I said, the government, which is basically like the council, is not there to hold people's hands, not there to create laws for without reason. Like their laws are mainly to prevent like wars, to prevent stupid shit from happening, like somebody trying to resurrect a dead god or an evil god, or somebody trying to bring like an evil god here, or criminal organists. They're basically somewhat like a global police that go after actual things that are planet nation to planet wide threats. That isn't like in just battle. Like they're not going to get involved in two countries battling it out unless one country battles it out in a really dark area. Really starts getting really dark in how they're fighting back. And even then, they're kind of try to let things play out to a certain degree. Well, our mage here, Mars, basically was an enforcer. When they sent her, shit was about to go down. She's taken out dozens of evil cults. She's taken out actual evil gods. She had gotten way too OP. And she's been serving the government for probably a betterment of 1,000 years. Our story begins generally when she finally told the government, I paid my dues, I'm gonna go do my own thing. And yeah, well, this world is called Oscar. Yeah, I know, Oscar. Weird name for a planet. But it was based after one of the first ever council men that actually started the council to save the planet from just a bunch of evil gods and a bunch of gods trying to rule every little bitty thing of their lives. I mean, these people deserve, people in his eyes, people deserve power. They deserve to be able to live their life in their own free will, and people deserve to actually live. But he also understood it wasn't his place to control the world. It was his place to combat evil when it pops up. More or less like, well, it's like what the government's been doing. He died on one of the final battles between kicking out the last evil god. And they renamed the planet after Oscar, which Mars always kind of laughed at. Like, name a planet Oscar. Go figure. Anyway, oh, one other tidbit is she came from an era on Earth which a lot of the records were destroyed. And this is also playing out generally at the same time the lunar story and Sarzak's story is actually taking place in the same time frame. Give or take a few years maybe apart, but generally the same time frame. And she actually personally knew Sarzak, but back when he got kicked through the hole and he was a fledgling necromancer trying to protect his planet from a bunch of assholes that wanted to turn the entire planet undead. And him, her, and some other people ends up stopping the necromancer and killing him once and for all. Not Sarzak, but he's kind of immortal. But yeah. Let's do that battle, and with everything that happened here, our protagonist here isn't immortal, but she's immortal. Like, she ain't Sarzak. Like, you kill her, she'll die. I mean, do something that's an instant kill on her, she'll go down like a sack of potatoes. But you really have to take her out completely in one shot, or she can regenerate most things. Like you cut off her arm will actually grow back because she ended up accidentally getting a regeneration skill that's always active, and she had it from birth. And it's one of the reasons why she was a lower class mage for a long time is her skill was taking all of her magic. But on the other hand, with her working other magics on top of that, she got quite powerful. Like I said, she is beyond OP. She does have a thing for nature magic, but she generally dabs in everything but necromancy. That's the one thing she will never dabble into. Alright, well, this world is called Oscar. It has four continents. Um think of them more shaped kind of um like Africa. Like the general shapes are more like Africa or the Africa, Australia type shapes. Not all of Europe or not all of America, but just like stuff like that. The world is roughly about 40 to 50% water mass. So it's mainly Earth. But there's countries underwater, there's people can get across the ocean through contracts with Sacred Beast, through actual planes and stuff. They're not in the Dark Ages and whatsoever. They're actually their technology level is if like modern day technology, but with a magical overhaul type deal. They still drive around in cars. They still do the plane stuff, and usually also how the humans get left alone because they make all this technology and ship it out to the rest of the world through mainly through blood vampire agents. The continents are like screwed across the world just at like random. You have like four major continents, and you have smaller islands here and there. Generally, just a world of mass. Um, we're primarily going to be on the Starlu continent for the first part of our story, and a lot of the things I explained is continent wide when it comes to what's going on in this area, where the council is worldwide. Like I said, they're more like a when they go to investigate, they have to make sure shit's going on before they're allowed to get involved. All right, it is at the 19-minute mark, so let's actually get into the story. You listen to me babbling about this world, which I'm gonna have to go back to, and yeah. Anyway, our story begins right in the middle of a battle between a um pack trying to gather um inventory out of or trying to get lands. Our hero, or not our hero, um hold on, our hero James Lee So everybody calls him the Bloodhaven Alpha, or just the Alpha of Alphas. He's quite feared. He's kind of brutal. Yeah. Well, he's rushing up through the battle lines, going back and forth, beast racking, gunfire, flacking, just in general. He's ducking and waving to looking for the alpha to end this fight with, to try to prevent as much bloodshed as possible. Believe it or not, he doesn't like his own people to get hurt. He's actually a really good alpha. As soon as he sees the alpha of the people trying to go kill him, he's like, without fury, or with a lot of fury, dugs around, like the swap, like doing more of a zigzaggy type pattern, and he ends up catching the alpha. He gets behind the alpha, which barely recognizes him when his hand is connecting with the bottom joint of his head to see his. And then the next thing people notice is red mist, just blood spewing everywhere. With the head flying across the battlefield, half caved in the back, spraying blood all over the place too. He stands up and howls in the middle of the pack, yelling, "Stand down, your alpha is dead. Your roles are no more. Go, while I still allow you fuckers to live." What what are we gonna do without enough? Doesn't fucking matter. They all start whimpering and stuff as they stop fighting and generally just start um walking away, just slowly with their heads. The beta of the pack ends up going up to the alpha. What do you want? Before he even um said a word, Alpha Lee, this was our alpha's doing. Most of our clan had no inkling for war. Find a better alpha. Well, that's the thing. We're gonna take a vote when we get back, and we're going to ask for you to just take over our pack and get rid of the rest of the alpha line, or either submit, leave, or die. We're tired of the constant bloodshed for no reason, for needless death. He looks over at him. If your pack wants to join us, you know that there's consequences to that. Yes, we do. Fine. Send an envoy later on when you finally talk to your pack. That is something I am not going to take away, nor am I going to take just the rights of killing your alpha either. As Alpha Lee just starts walking away. He ends up walking up to the beta of his pack, John. Like, hey, John. And he didn't even let us stretch our legs much. You would have had him when John's doing the, like, knock few of their heads off myself, you know. Battle crazed dog, swear. If you weren't the best alpha for the job, I'd knock your ass out. It is. What? I like to fight. Well, anyway, they surrendered, but it is what it is. I'm tired of the pointless bloodshed. These stupid alphas just coming up and like, we want your shit and we're gonna take it. And we're like, no. And think by some stupid birthright or because I'm not brought in through a normal means of alpha that I took my job by force, they think I'm lesser. I doubt most of them think you're lesser now. I mean, shit, most of them would, kind of starting to get scared of it. Oh, blood and bones, man, blood and bones. Speaking of that, that pack that attacked us might want to actually join our ranks. If they do, I'm probably going to send you over there to get going and get an intern alpha set up. Yeah, I may just make you their new alpha and you just be still under me as the beta. That might be a good idea. I don't want that sort of responsibility. No, but you may need it. Maybe you'll learn there's more to life than fighting and fucking. Jeez. As they both laugh. Well, I'm gonna go get cleaned up and go have a drink or two. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Go get my wild on. You gotta just start to, uh, one of these days, I hope you find your mate, a real mate, not just, not that POS that, yeah. Yeah, I would prefer you not to bring that up. The woman that tried to get me to, murder you and put down because she's butt ass crazy. But shit, you haven't even found your mate yet. So um what likelihood am I gonna get my second chance mate? Jeez. He laughed. Anyway. Well, they go get cleaned up, or we shift the scene over to Mars POV. I am telling you right now, I'm done. I have served my time. I have triply served my time. I have saved this planet. I don't know how many times. I have put so many of those um evil assholes behind bars or dead. I don't even remember half of them. If you do need me for a Pacific mission, you can hire me like a mercenary. So if something world shattering happens, you just have to hire me. And I have complete choices over what I do and what I don't. So done. And she slammed some like ID and shit on the ground onto the desk. Like she holds out her hand, doing this number for the grumbling sergeant in front of her. Fine, here. Slaps a new ID in her hand, a civilian ID that uh pretty much it has her information on there plus this little golden star, and it's like, what is this? It means you're above the law, that you're a citizen of the world and you can go pretty much wherever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, and nobody can stop you. Especially since you're human, you'll definitely need that. Not many humans end up tucking tail and running, if you know what I mean. You're not wrong about that. Definitely not wrong about that one. Well, anyway, so she finally just walks out the door. Finally free! And it's her magical phone. She holds it up and is like, hello? Oh, you're a civilian now. Civilian plus some. What does that mean? Apparently, I'm like called a citizen of the world. Or, I don't know. Wow, not many people get that. Means you have pretty much conduct to go anywhere, and not even a king or anybody like that can stop you without major incident. Very few people even get that. Yes, I know. So anyway, what are you calling about? You just congratulating me? Well, I just wanted to see my friend I haven't seen in 150 years or more. No, wouldn't mind actually getting you set up with one of my sons. He, I am not ready for all that jazz. Over 3,000 years old. Yeah, but you know how I like people. I like my lifestyle. Free. Don't have to deal with the aftermath of a relationship. And yeah. But anyway, I still like to see one of my good friends. Now, especially now that everybody won't get freaked out because she's a forcer anymore. You know, you could have actually sat on the council. Shit, they probably would have done it just to keep you around. Well, probably, but that's more work than I want. Been doing this shit for years. I want to deal with politics, and I'd rather get sent back to Earth. They both laugh. Your planet has probably changed so much since you're gone. Probably. Well, anyway. Alright, I'll start heading through the um territories. Probably, well, since I'm already around here. How did you know where I was anyway? I have my connection too. I am a queen of a nation after all. True. True. Alright. Hmm. Nah. Probably won't meet you at the castle right away. I'm gonna explore your how you guys do things, which right, you guys do things more like the council than the council does. Well, alphas will be alphas when you have to deal with beast, half beast, half man. Shit happens. You're talking like you're some like sort of demi-human or some shit. No, no. Or we live with our wolf, our sentient wolves every day. While they are not. That's truer than most. Yeah. I still wonder what happened to the first queen. Yeah, well, with all the things that was going on, I think they ended up hightailing it. It was some very dark times. And then some wizards came about and somebody made a council, somebody joined the council. And yeah, just a bunch of mess in my book. Yeah, you're not wrong. Not wrong at all. Well, anyway, I'll see you. See you on the next time I see you. Sooner than later, I hope. Well, anyhow, she hung up the phone, put the phone in her pocket. She actually went ahead and dressed more like a human instead of in her battle robes that she's had on for forever day and a year. And she has the driver drive her into town. She's gonna go mingle it up at a bar. This is the first day that she's been done with all the political nonsense and all the and just actually go out and have some fun finally. Well, um, as she pulls up, something like weird coming out, and like she heard a nap as she walks in. She's next thing she hears is May. Her eyes go wide, and it's like, what? Mate. Uh, a guy stands up with silver hair, tattoos running. Part of it tribal, part of it's like dragons and stuff. Part of it is or some wolf type tribal stuff. Guy is sitting there, like walks right up to her, sniffs around her, is like, she takes a step back. Excuse me? Mate. No, I am not your mate. You're rejecting me. And I said, no, you're human. He went to grab her hand, ends up touching the back of her hand before she jumps back. Don't touch me without my permission. Like, what are you planning to do? Like, I'm. He tries to wrangle his beast back. Sorry, my werewolf is kind of jumpy since we just found our mate apparently. We, and yeah, my name is James Lee. I am the alpha these parts. Alpha. He's like, well, I'm just a ordinary human. I decided to get away from, the human lands because they were starting to get boring. And exclusive. I wanted to explore the world. Would never think that I would be um somebody's mate. I can't be. He starts backing off. And I just wanted a drink. As she goes and, hey, you are my mate. The wolf jumps right back up to the surface, eyes glowing bright blue, bluest color, like deep blue seas blue. She jumps back and starts bolting into an alley. When this big old beast dude comes out, grabs him. Where's my money? Hands down and dashing this to, and he looks at who he's talking to. Sorry, Alpha, I didn't know. Like, I don't blame you. He pulls out some bills, like $500. This should do for tonight and probably the rest of the week. He slaps, and then he takes off, trying to smell his mate, and trying to figure out a way to convince her to, do something. The maid versus then fades into one of the shadows while she teleports onto a roof very, very silently with a concealment spell over. Like, man, he was divine. I don't have time to get mixed up with this mate nonsense, so I don't want to deal with relation, especially for somebody as possessive as stinking rotten like him. Yeah, strong liking blood too. That's odd for somebody not closer to the center of the wolf nations. I'll have to try to deal. Turns around. She looks down across the. Wait, that's Shadow. Don't look like an. As the Shadow meets up with Alpha, her eyes lit up. Oh no. And that's where we're cutting it for today in this. And like I said, this is just the first general story. And it went a little bit farther, but a lot more in depth. And I am going to have to write all of that down before we'll move on with the story. But if you like it, like I said, as of right now, every 4 likes will guarantee that the story will continue no matter what. Because if I get 4 likes, find out if I get 4 likes or more, I will make it a priority to go ahead and make a new episode. Um, like, comment, tell me what you like about it, tell me what you dislike about it. Like I said, these are all done right off the top of my head. I do write down some notes to keep general things I said open, but peace out, have fun, and rock on.